count up, which means we are coming to you live. What is going on, Trusted Herd Facebook group? Welcome to episode number 24 of Trusted Herd Live. If you're new to the program, I'll tell you in a little bit what we're doing here. You might notice, hey, Brian, there's another box next to you. There's another person right over here. We are very, very fortunate to have Krystie Phannareth with us of KPG Event Staffing. Krystie, hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. How are we doing today?
Oh, just enjoying some time off. Enjoying this little break. That's what I'm calling it. It's not a quarantine. It's not a stay at home. I'm just having a break finally.
Yeah. Feel the same exact way, and yet still finding stuff to do. So, for those of you who are joining, here's what Trusted Herd Live is. You might know there's not a lot of events going on right now in our industry. And I was like, what can we do to remind people we really like doing events and all of that stuff? And I was like, what if we were on some owners and entrepreneurs of event companies who can share their story with us and tell us how they got started and how their company came to be, and finally put like the story next to the name, especially when events comes back, so you can work with these great companies. And so, like I said, we have 23 previous episodes. Feel free to go back. But today is all about Krystie and KPG Event Staffing, and she's going to share her story with us. So that being said, also wanted to add, there's going to be a giveaway today. Krystie, why don't you tell the people how they can enter this giveaway?
All right, guys. So every week, normally we do a photo contest where I'm going to do a $50 gift card, Visa or Amazon gift card. This week, though, we're going to take that $50 gift card and do it for Trusted Herd. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up button, hit that the heart, I love heart button, and also share it for your different entries as well. So just do that, and you might be able to get a $50 gift card from me.
All right. I'm going to write that for our crawler. Because we're high tech. I've gotten much better since episode number 1. This video, and one winner for $50 gift card. One winner. Perfect. Boom. Look at that. Technology. It's great. All right. So let's get into the weeds of it. Again, we're here with Krystie Phannareth, owner of KPG Event Staffing. You might know her because I know her and I see her everywhere on Facebook. So it's nice to finally get her on camera and everyone to see the person behind the name. So Krystie, on Trusted Herd Live, the first question has nothing to do about events. If we don't find you doing KPG or doing events, what are you up to? What do you like to do? What are your hobbies?
I like to cook a lot. And if you haven't noticed, my Facebook feed lately has been a lot on cooking. In fact, I did my very first YouTube video last week. So I think that might be a little niche that I might get into. I've always been in the restaurant industry, though. So okay. I was 14 years old in the service industry, and I know back of house, front of house, cooking, bartending, all that stuff. And my dream is actually to open up a small restaurant bar and maybe 4 or 5 food trucks. So that's actually what I'm looking forward to do probably in the next 5 years.
Nice. And I'm friends with Krystie on Facebook. I have to tell you, I have been seeing these pictures that have been coming across. They look unbelievable. Like, these are restaurant quality Instagram photos that are hitting my feed. And, I'm looking at my frozen pizza that I make and I'm feeling depressed about myself. So that's awesome. Very cool. In fact, in high school, I thought I was going to go into the restaurant industry. I was working in a kitchen. I actually was taking culinary courses. I go to a culinary school, but it ends up being for hotel management. So that's awesome. Very cool of you. All right. So doing restaurant stuff, you have been in the event industry for a very, very long time. So before you got into events, what were you up to? Or do we know Krystie is just 5 years old? She's always been working events.
Well, as I had mentioned before, since I was 14, I've always been in service industry. So I worked in restaurants as a hostess, in the bakery when I was 14, 15, 16, and all that. When I hit 18, I was actually got married at a young age, and I was started doing promos in like the grocery stores, like the samplings and stuff. So that's how I found out about promos. So I was doing that.
Where did let's back up a little bit. Where did that initially start? Like, were you just at the grocery store and you walked up to a sampler? Because I walk up to them all the time. I'm like, oh, tell me what you got going on, but here, can I also have 2 of these? Like, was it that conversation, or did you have friends that were doing it? How did that first engagement happen?
No, I just wanted something to do because I was currently, like I said, I got married at 18 and I got pregnant at 19, had my son at 20. So during that time, I was just like, I need to do something. I was tired of being at home all the time, even just to get out for like 4 or 5 hours on a Saturday or Sunday, just doing something. Just made me feel better because I just didn't want to be in the house all the time.
Yeah.
So it was a Craigslist. Craigslist back in the day, that's where a lot of the promo jobs were. A lot of them were. So that's where I found it was on Craigslist. And just easy 1099 side job, making extra, $120 a weekend, just so that was my, it was my food money because I ate a lot being pregnant.
Do you remember the very first brand or that very first day?
It was cheesecake because I hate cheesecake, but I was craving cheesecake because of being pregnant. So yeah.
That is amazing.
Definitely cheesecake.
Yeah, and so to start doing food demos, I guess at what point did you realize there's a lot bigger world out here than just doing promotions for in-store demos?
Well, I really didn't move too much during that time, as far as like moving forward with doing other promos and stuff. Because I still, I moved back to Charlotte and I went into the nightclub industry. So I was in the nightclub industry from 2001 to 2012. I was the general manager of 3 nightclubs from 2005 to 2010. So for 5 years, I was the general manager of 3 nightclubs. Okay. So I did like NASCAR races, anything in the Charlotte area, just on the side. But I didn't really move forward until I left the nightclub industry in 2012, and I just went full on, head on, face first into this industry. And it's just been, had my roller coaster up and down at the very beginning because I didn't know didn't establish myself, and then after that I just took off running, and look where I am today. 8 years later.
Yeah. So everyone who's joining us, we're here with Krystie Phannareth, the owner of KPG Event Staffing. KPG Event Staffing has been doing some incredible stuff for brand ambassadors, and I actually want to get to that a little bit later on and give you your credit and your due because I think it's amazing what you've done. But if you were just watching this right now and just joining us, hit that heart button, hit that thumbs up button, and hit that share button to your own page or a favorite group, because every time that you do that, you're going to be entered in, and Krystie and KPG Staffing are going to give away a $50 gift card and let you know. So very exciting stuff. All right, Krystie, you said when you got into the industry and you hit that growth spurt, right? Was there something that made you hit that growth spurt, or was it you just applying yourself more? Because I think that's a really interesting point for a lot of event workers who are watching. And how they can.
It is. It's definitely applying yourself more, because that first year or two when you're trying to make a name for yourself, you just really have to apply for everything. Take those backup positions. Take any position really, because you can't really be picky when you're first starting out. Yeah. And I hear some BAs say, "Oh, I will never do this. I will never do that." But if you don't take those type of positions, you're never going to get yourself in front of that agency, because that agency may do more than just demos. That agency may do a tour. That agency, may have like a product specialist, a fly in, fly out. You just never know. Yeah. So what I did. I hate guerrilla marketing, and I did guerrilla marketing. I hate guerrilla marketing. But yeah, you just do what you have. You do what you have to do to make a name for yourself. And once that name is out there, once you have established a relationship with your booking coordinators, with your agencies, they're going to reach out to you. And that's what happens. After a while, I just stopped applying, and I just started getting straight text messages or straight emails like, "Hey, Krystie, are you available? Can you get me a team?" Because I tend to work with people that I know work similar to me. So They know that they can get a team together, and you can get 4, 5, 6 people that are going to bust their butts and just work hard.
Yeah, that's amazing. It reminds me so much of Lucy Williams, who was on the show last week, I think it was, with JVC Reach, and she was telling us how they were at this trade show, right? And she had this this young lady who was doing directional staffing or directional signage and guiding people at the bottom of an escalator. And coming out of this trade show, out of all their brand ambassadors, like, she was the one that the clients were talking about so much and wanted to book her again. And that probably wasn't the most desirable out of all the positions. So I think just getting that foot in the door, like you said, is so, so important because it can lead to so many other things. Okay, so we're doing a ton of events. In that time period, did you have some favorite events that you worked?
I think my favorite event was probably the Calling All My Girls tour with Bethany Frankel from Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yeah.
She paired up with, she had wrote a book, and she was doing a tour about her book. And she paired up with Skinny Girl Vodka. And basically, it was a women's only event. We would go from city to city, and it was like 9 cities. And we would set up at like the W in DC, we set up there. So, and then we would just invite a bunch of women to this event, no more than like 300 women. But the fun part was the bachelor auction. That was just the fun part of that one. It's just the bachelor auction. But the whole production side of it was what my favorite. Just setting it up from starting 5 in the morning for basically a 3-hour event from 7 to 10. Start at 5 in the morning and do the event for 3 hours, and then spend another 6 or 7 hours breaking down. So within a 24-hour time period, we would do this one event, and we got to dress up in cocktail dresses and suits. The staff would be in suits, and it was just one of those things. Like, hey, yeah, we spent 20 hours doing this 3-hour event, but it was a good event. And one of those events too where everybody was just tired but happy at the same time, and just happy that it just all came together well. So it's probably one of my best events that I've done. But I enjoyed the Pennzoil tour that I was on 2 years ago. I've been with I was on Pennzoil the first year just as a brand ambassador.
Okay.
I did such a good job as a brand ambassador that they asked me to be the tour manager the next year.
Nice.
That's another thing, guys. It's like, you're a BA, but you know what? You never know. The client's always watching. Somebody's always watching. You never know. You might get that position. So I did such a good job as a BA that I was offered the tour manager position.
That's amazing. And for those people who haven't maybe seen pictures of your event site, because I do know you're active on social media and you post them quite a bit, can you tell a little bit about the Pennzoil tour? Like, was it just regional? Was it in one state? What events did you go to?
The Pennzoil tour was 10 months long. Yeah, on the road, 100%, 10 months long. Wow. We did NASCAR events, we did NHRA, and then we also did some others like smaller, small-scale racing events or car auctions or anything like that. It ended in SEMA, because SEMA's a big event in Las Vegas in the year, car show. But it was, the very first event will be the one in Las Vegas for the Pennzoil 400. Try putting down 19,000 square foot of flooring. 19,000 square feet of flooring. Try putting that down, and you have basically 2 days to do that.
I don't want to admit it, but I have been there at racetracks before. And the very first year that we did it, we had squares paneling, right? And I think the squares were maybe 18 inches by 18 inches, but that square, while this big, in that amount of space looks like nothing, right? It's like the equivalent of a small little bathroom tile. And the second year, we were like, we have got to find a better solution because our knees are killing us, backs are killing us. We're on that hot asphalt all day, just laying it. Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, no. No, yeah, I definitely. But yeah, we were always outside. There was no indoor event with Pennzoil. Everything was always outside in the heat. One of our events, we actually got attacked by big bugs, like this big, like when they hit you, you heard a thump. Like it was that bad. So one of our events, and I think they were Asian flies. So that's what they were.
Okay.
They were really like this big, and they were being. I think it was in Columbus, Ohio, but it was horrible.
You know, when you just said that, it reminded me. I'm sure you've seen it, and I know some of the people watching it have seen it. That this new Hornet that has come out that's like 2 inches long.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't ever want to come face to face with this Hornet at an event, at home, anywhere, nowhere. I know Cam is going to end up chiming in here because I know he posted about it too. Okay, so we're doing a ton of events. You're getting calls left and right. Hey, can you come do this event for us? Can you come do this event for us? You're doing the Pennzoil tour. This is great. I love talking about your background and how far you've come, but we're also here to talk about KPG event staffing. So at what point did you go, I think I want to start my own company?
Okay, so let me rewind just a little bit.
Yeah.
When I moved back to Charlotte in 2001 and went back into the nightclub business, I also had a side business called KPG Bartending Services. We staff bartenders, cocktail servers, bar backs, valet people for private events in and around the Charlotte region. So that's actually as early as actually the company I had. And then in 2017, after the tour, because I had staffed my whole staff was staffed by me through the carrier group for my Pennzoil tour. And I did such a good job for them that they continued, even though I wasn't on tour with them anymore, that I continued to still staff for them. So in 2017, I was like, okay, we're going to do a DBA. So that's where KPG event staffing came from in 2017.
Nice.
So I've actually been doing staffing for a long time. But as far as manifesting into KPG event staffing, 2017. And also I partnered up with a company called Buzz Expressions, which is my hospitality marketing company that does a lot of the trade shows where we staff the bartenders, baristas, servers, bakers for those. So between staffing all of the carry group events for Pennzoil and between the Buzz Expressions, I was really like, you know what, I'm going to move forward more with staffing. And now I've acquired 15 clients. One of them actually 2 of them are really big name as well. We have Adult Swim. And we also have Kiss, and a lot of ladies. I know you know Kiss. You know the eyelashes and the nails, which I don't have any on right now. But last year we staffed Kiss for the home games for NFL because all the cheerleaders use Kiss products for the NFL. So that was the move. And then before coronavirus hit, I actually was in the move to sign more contracts to move forward with that, as well as doing more trade shows with KISS because, well, we also had BeautyCon. We had some other like beauty shows that we were signing contracts for KISS. So
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. When you first said KISS, you know, being a non-female that doesn't wear nails and all that stuff, I immediately went to Gene Simmons and that kid. Because he once came to our event site one time and we had him MC some stuff. And I quickly realized after one sentence, this was not the KISS you were talking about. So, okay. What was working on the event site and doing so good, it got you more opportunities to actually staff for Pennzoil and the Buzz Expression stuff. But when you really looked at KPG event staffing as this entity that you were starting, was there a purpose or mission for you of like, I want this company to be this for myself, for the people we work with, for clients, for workers? Was there anything like that you thought of and maybe deeper?
I did. I did because I've always been for the BAs. And, I think for the BA side, I've always advocated for BAs. That's why I never paid less than $25 an hour. And I get really frustrated when I see, rates as low as $14 or $15 an hour. Those are rates that I got back in 1995 doing product demos. So here we are, it's 2020, 95, so 25 years later.
Yeah.
And you still see $15 an hour rates.
Yeah.
So I wanted KPG event staffing to be a kind of like a template, of how pay rates should be, like pay rates should be, and how staffing coordinators, booking coordinators should be in a relationship should treat their staff, because we treat our staff good. I'm always available to talk to them. And, it's just one of those, is like, hey, I'm not just a phone call. I'm not just, an answering machine. Like you call me, you text me, I have an answer for you. And if I don't have an answer, I'll get one for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to be a big company. I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm happy with my 15 clients. I'm happy with staffing, for, the small scale levels.
Yeah.
Had the opportunity to staff big scale, and it's not for me, actually. I will pass it on to a bigger company. But yeah, I definitely, I just like, the smaller level that I'm at, because that just lets me be able to, be on the same level as the BAs are, because knowing what they want, what they need. That's what I just want KPG to be. I just want to be, the template of how a staffing agency should be.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. And I think when you are small like that, and you realize you want that, there's an intimacy that you can give to brand ambassadors, to clients, that when you do get very large, I think things start slipping through the cracks, right? So that's amazing. KPG, now your name is Krystie Phannareth, so if I was a guessing person, I would say, well, maybe that's where the KP comes from. The G, what else?
Okay, so I have another story about KPG.
Yeah.
So when I was running nightclubs, I was also running another side gig called Krystie's Promotional Group, because we were doing a lot of promotions for the DJs and all that stuff. Like we were doing that type of thing. So that's where KPG actually came from originally, and I just kind of kept that Krystie's Promotional Group. And then through the years, I'm just like, all right, we're not gonna do Krystie's Promotional Group anymore. It's just gonna be KPG.
Yeah.
And then my last logo, I'm just like, all right, we need to change KPG to something else. So I kind of Googled what KPG acronyms would stand for, and it came up with Keep the Party Going. And basically, what we do is a big party. Yeah. Like, if you like what you do, you enjoy it, it's not working. It's a big party. And that's how I always view like my job. It's like, I'm working, but I'm having fun. Yeah. Like, I always enjoyed like going out and doing what I do. I'll make an example. The last event that I was working at, we were doing for Adult Swim at, I just had the one in Boston recently. The one in Boston just happened. PAX East.
PAX East.
Yes, PAX East. So we were doing an event with my client for Adult Swim, and I hired a new girl. This is her second event only. Yeah. She was really like timid about gathering people and enticing people to come in, and without thinking about it, I just went out there. And we're just like, hey guys, blah, 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 being myself and all that stuff. And the girl comes up to me, she goes, wow. It's just like, you can actually have fun doing this. I'm like, no, have fun. Like, don't be shy, don't be timid. Go out there, talk to the people, have fun with them, because that's what this job's all about. So she took that, she went out there, and we only had like 50 people in there. And then within like an hour, we had 100 people. And, another half an hour, we had 200 people, max capacity 300. But she went out there and she was like, thanks for letting me know that I can have fun at work. It's like, yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, following along like some of the comments here, right? I mean, Rich is like, keep the party going. Absolutely. Chantel, I love that. I always say that I can't believe I get paid to do this. It's so much fun. Marnie, of course, jumping in there saying the same thing. So it's so true. It really is. It's a fun job. I can't wait to get back out there, as I'm sure same with you and everybody else watching. The logo, like you said, this is relatively new. So how long did you work on the logo for? Did you have a friend do it? Where did that come from?
I actually never had a logo. Not really had a logo. It was just, we never had like a letterhead or anything. And then I thought about it. I'm like, all right, I'm 43 this year. I'm an 80s kid. If you look at it, you can tell where the symbols come from. So I have a $10 gift card for anybody, the first person that can tell me where those logos come from. What it comes from. First person that can tell me that. We'll look at that later. But I have a $10 gift card for anybody that can tell me that.
You guys better be typing fast, because I guarantee you there's somebody else watching right now who's trying to type also fast. We're going to figure out who was on Mario Teaches typing like I was on my PC.
All right. Who was the first person to say Pac-Man? I can't see, but it says Facebook user.
It says Max Doroshko was the first one.
Cool. Max, you are right. It is Pac-Man. You know why? Because I'm an 80s girl. I was born in the 70s. I'm an 80s girl. Always loved Pac-Man. Always loved Miss Pac-Man. So that's definitely where the symbols came from.
That's awesome. And I was gonna compliment you too, because we haven't talked since I've started to see the logo, but the colors are also, I love them, because to me that pink and that purple almost goes perfectly with keep the party going. Like, I don't know why I associate those colors with like a party theme and that. But was there any reason that you chose the pink and the purple?
Just a couple of my favorite colors.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. All right, cool. So let's keep moving here. Was the Pennzoil program technically your first client on KPG, or was it somebody else?
No. I actually had smaller clients before that. But before Buzz, they were my biggest client though.
Okay.
So Buzz and Pennzoil are my two. Actually, I don't call it Pennzoil. It's actually the Shell client, because under Shell I have Pennzoil, Quaker State, Jiffy Lube, Advanced Auto Parts, AutoZone, Shell Rotella, Shell itself. So I have two more. I can't remember. I have like 9 different brands under the Shell client.
That was very good. I was impressed. As you were naming them further, you were like, and there's 2 more I can't remember. I was like, what about all the ones you did remember? That was more impressive. Do you remember like the very first client though? Whether it was just one person that somebody picked up the phone and said, Krystie, can you staff this for me? Do you remember that moment?
So are we talking about my first very bartending client or my first experiential marketing client?
I would say first experiential marketing client. But Krystie, bartending is I know you do a ton of like barista programs and all of that. So actually, let's include that.
Bartending client, I don't remember, because that's 2001. That's too far. And as far as my very first experiential marketing client, it will have to be a trade show, and I believe it was Accurance. They are a construction company.
Okay.
So I was staffing a construction trade show for them. So that was probably back in like 2014 or 15, but that was before KPG that staffing manifested in, but it was still probably my first experiential marketing client.
Nice. And was there one client along the way where you thought to yourself, this is really starting to pick up, like steady every week or whatever it was?
I wanted to learn more before I actually before I took off. I wanted to learn more about how like a construction of a booth went into, and that's another thing. I actually went to work for Freeman's before. Have you ever heard of Freeman's?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually went to work for Freeman's to figure out. I do a lot of undercover stuff, if I didn't tell you. I went to work for Starbucks undercover. That's how I learned to be a barista. I do a lot of undercover work. That's what you guys should do too. You want to learn to do something, do undercover work.
Before I got into event marketing full time, I was like, I'm going to save up money. I'm going to go get my master's degree, and I need a job to do this. And I served in high school in addition to working at a hotel. So I was going to go back and be a server at Cheesecake Factory. And I went through day 3 of training. And on day 3, they put the menu down and they go, all right, here's the deal. You have to learn every single item on this menu and the ingredients that make up that because of allergies and all of that. And I never forget, at the end of it, I went up to the training person. I go, look, I don't think this is right for me. I love Cheesecake Factory. I love eating here. I love eating a handful of things, but this is a big menu to learn all the items. So that might have been as close as undercover I got in Cheesecake Factory.
It is. It's very hard. It's actually very hard to work in the restaurant business. I've been in it since I was 14. I know every ins and outs of it, but that's just that at that time, that's what I wanted to do. Like, I love service industry. I just love, like, besides experiential marketing, the service industry is another industry where it's full on face to face. It's like you're talking to somebody all the time.
Yeah.
So, I love that. And then transitioning to this full time was difficult at first for the first year, because like anybody on their first few months, you have to hustle real hard. You have to apply, and hope you get hired, and then try and make a name for yourself. But that's just for everybody. And don't ever give up, guys. Don't ever give up. I will come hunt you down.
Completely. Chantel's agreeing with me. Menu is a book. Marnie, whole menu at Bob Chin's Crab House. We took a field trip to Bob Chin's Crab House. For any of my Chicago people, it's in the north suburbs. It's amazing. Okay, so we got clients. Team is important. What does team mean to KPG event staffing?
Well, without a team that works hard with you, you got nothing. Absolutely nothing. If you have someone, if you have a team that's miserable working outside, you're not going to get the numbers or the leads or whatever you need, for your clients, because ultimately the clients don't care if you're outside in the heat burning up. The clients want numbers, and that's what they're looking at. So you just want to make sure that your team, has the morale up. They're happy. They have plenty of breaks. For example, like on my Pennzoil tour, I gave breaks as often as I could figure out how to do breaks. Yeah. It'd be so hot outside, and luckily our truck, the office in the truck, the trailer park, there's an office. It was air conditioned. I'm like, go in there. I was like, don't go sit out in the heat. Go in and cool down. And I would start breaks 2 hours in, and then everybody got half-hour break every time everyone came back. So they probably had 2 hours worth of breaks total, but it was every half hour, so it didn't feel like they were outside all the time.
Yeah.
The main thing is just making sure your team is happy, because a happy team, just like happy wife, happy life. Same thing. You have a happy team, you're gonna have happy numbers, and more people are gonna want to work with you.
Yeah, it makes everybody so much more pleasant to be around. Seriously. All right, let's see here. Krystie, you've come a long way. Are there any habits that you feel have helped you get to where you're at today, or intangibles?
Habits. Make it a habit of putting everything into your calendar immediately, so you don't double book, triple book, or whatever else, because when that happens, it's a big embarrassment to you. You have to call the agency and be like, hey, I double booked myself, because maybe that agency won't hire you again because you didn't know how to schedule yourself to make that mistake. So everything goes into my phone immediately. And the best part is, if you have Google and an Android phone, automatically puts in there for you. Like, that's the best part. Like, all my flights are automatically put in, my hotels, everything's put in, and anything that has a date on it, Google puts in my phone directly for me. So that's a positive I have right there.
I'm with you. I'm Team Android. Anybody else who's got an Android, just drop your name right there in the comments. Say Team Android. Want to hear that and see that. Sorry, iOS people, but we'll come to it. Yeah, that's great. Staying organized is really important. How about this, Krystie? Is there anything I feel like the party really for KPG event staffing has happened kind of in like the last year. You've really come out on a big stage and put your name out there with the logo, etc. Is there anything that Krystie today would tell Krystie, I don't know, maybe back in 2001, right, when you were starting the club promotion stuff, that maybe would have accelerated your path a little bit quicker? Or are you very happy with the way things have played out so far?
I'm actually happy with the way things have played out so far. There's really not much advice I can give to my old self, except to not take everything to heart. Because 5 years ago, I took a lot of things to heart. I would get into Facebook arguments with people. And now, the last 3 years, I'm just like, people are going to do and whatever they want to do, and they're going to believe what they want to believe. So it's just like, okay, I'm not going to argue with people anymore. I'm just going to sit back, and I'm just going to concentrate more on, the people that are working for me right now, making sure that I have work for them in the future, and just being happier. We whoever said definitely love that, Krystie. I love you too. I only see Facebook.
Kimberly Kennard just wrote that.
Okay, but I did, and I've had a lot of negativity because I've had some stuff that's happened to me in my past. But everybody has a past, and you just kind of move forward from it. If you can't move forward from it, and you stay in the past, then it's just not. It's not beneficial to yourself, and anybody else. But have a positive mindset. Don't take everything to heart, and just move forward.
Completely agree.
Yeah, like right now. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say real quick. Did you see all of the Team Androids that just scrolled by?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I love you all. I also love our iOS users, but Team Android all the way. Okay. Did you want to continue before I get to the next question? Was there anything else you wanted to?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I believe probably your next questions will probably follow through for everything. So
yeah,
anything, I can answer them later on.
Yeah. So in posting all of your jobs, I know that you're very particular in how you want people to apply, and there's a rhyme and a reason for that. So what do you look for when somebody wants to work for KPG Event Staffing?
Okay. The first thing I look for, and this is before I used to use Trusted Herd, and Trusted Herd, you guys have streamlined everything for me. It's so much easier. But before, when everything was email submissions, I look for people that can follow directions. That is my main thing, because I feel like if someone can't follow directions, then they're not going to follow directions on the show floor or follow directions from the tour manager. And that is my biggest thing. It was like, you can be the sweetest, the best BA out there, but if you can't follow directions, then that's no good for me. That's not good for my client. That's not good for the tour manager. So that's the main thing. That's the number one thing I look for, is someone that follows directions. So before, when I was doing, email submissions, I would look to make sure they have the correct subject line. I would look to make sure they had the correct photos. I would look to make sure that they had their food handler's card or their tip certifications attached, and then I would read their email. I would read the body of the email. So I would look to see if those three things were done, and then I'll read your email. I have, like I said, I've hired people that I've hired a lot of friends, and I've fired some friends before. I've hired brand new people that have turned out to be wonderful people. And it's just, I'm very, I hate to say that, I'm very particular, but in order for my company to be successful, I just have to be that way, because I can't, being a small company, I can't afford to lose like big clients.
Yeah.
I can't afford to make a mistake. So I have to make sure that everyone is on the same page all the way around.
I think there's something so simple to the idea of following directions and instructions, right? And I myself am very attentive to small details. I think that's really critical in anything that you do. But if you are an event worker on a site and you are good at picking up on small details, it's my personal belief you will thrive. Like, there are things that you will see happening that before a client sees it or before your team lead sees it. You have this opportunity to fix that. And it's those people that pick up on those small details that really go far. So, Krystie, I like everything that you're saying. I mean, I also like all the food pictures that you post too, but that's the thing. How can I work for KPG Event Staffing? For the people watching now or tomorrow or a couple weeks from now?
Well, the first things first, if you don't have a Trusted Herd account, you better make a profile right now. That's number one. So, and then, so currently, until I hear anything from my clients, everything is still on hold. Yeah. But yeah, main thing is have that Trusted Herd account. Make sure you have an actual photo on your profile versus just the Trusted Herd Buffalo, versus having a photo of you in the ball cap and sunglasses on, versus you. Oh my gosh, it wasn't Trusted Herd, but there was another account. I can't remember, where they were throwing the bird in their profile photo. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
So, and make sure your profile is up to date as much as possible. I'm at 98%. I don't know how I can get to 100% on that, but make sure it's as close to 100% as possible for your profile. And I like the new rating system you have as well. And I know you want to talk about that rating system. I like that new rating system you do because I'm, 7?
Yeah. Well, I mean, on that front, and thank you for the compliments, by the way. That was very kind of you. We did want to make it where Trusted Herd's inclusive to everybody who wants to put in the time and see themselves succeed in this industry. And you can only have one number one. You can only have one number two. But in reality, there could be 50 number ones in an area, right? And so we wanted to give everybody that equal opportunity. And so in creating these levels, what you're putting in, people are really paying attention to that now. And now that we have this API where reviews in your badge will show up in other platforms and we'll receive those reviews and you'll get credit on your profile. And then, of course, next step that Krystie's been asking me about, I feel like I say months, it's probably been a year, is getting some badges and certifications into Trusted Herd. So in the next few weeks, that's going to be coming on profiles where you can upload certifications or at least say that you have those certifications. So companies looking at you know immediately, like, boom, look at this profile, almost filled out to the max or filled out. They got positive endorsements. Guys, go endorse your friends. Like Krystie and KPG have gone through and they've endorsed a ton of people as an agency, but that's amazing. That's credit as people are looking at all your profiles and the levels, and we're going to add more stuff in, but really I wanted to make it where anyone that has an agency can succeed. Anyone who takes this industry seriously and wants to make a career, or just a couple events, you can succeed too. So again, Krystie, thank you for giving me the microphone there for a moment.
No, it's all good. No, yeah, your platform has actually made my life a lot easier. I don't have thousands of emails to go through. I just go directly to Trusted Herd and see who has applied, who's available, and weed out what I don't need. So yes, we do. I do. I don't know. I can't speak for other agencies, but if you don't have a profile picture, you get weeded out. If you have, your profile is only at 50%, you get weeded out. So just make sure your profile is as close to 98% as possible, and make sure you have correct photos. Have your event photos. Have a good headshot. Don't you have a photo of yourself in a thong bikini or whatever it is, because it's not going to work either. It hasn't happened on your site, but I have received photos like that, and I'm just like, why would you? It's not that type of event. Why would you send me a picture of yourself with your backside in the thong? Why would you do that?
Hold on, be right back. I need to go update my Trusted Herd profile pictures. That's so true. And the filters, look, I get people like the bunny ears and the dogs and all that, but give it for the personal gallery, not on professional websites. So
and be truthful about your stats. Be truthful with your photos. Be truthful with your height, your weight, all that stuff. Yeah. I hired a girl. I specifically needed a size 6 because it was one of those zip up type of outfits where you had to be a size 6 or smaller. She sent me a photo of herself. She looked like a size 6. She showed up. She was not a size 6. And I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't use you. And I will pay for your parking, but I cannot use you. You are not a size 6.
Yeah.
So just, be truthful, guys. It's like, there are going to be some agencies that are going to hire because of your looks. There are going to be some agencies like mine that hire because of your skills. It's going to be hit or miss, but still just be truthful about it.
Yeah, completely agree. And I know I've seen Mandy is on here with Oxford, and I've told her I have a dream to just be a mascot for one day at an event. And it almost happened in Chicago this past year. However, I was too tired. I don't know what it would have been. She's been, I think, the red M&M, which I think is really cool. But
I love mascot work. My last event at PAX East, I was an alien. I don't know if you saw any of those alien photos, but I was an alien.
Nice. So, yeah. I think it would be so much fun. Okay. For anybody right now that's just joining, we're here with Krystie Phannareth, the owner of KPG Event Staffing. You also might know her from the Facebook world because she is everywhere and helps out so many brand ambassadors and groups. If you have any questions you want to drop in here, put them in the comments section. We're going to get them before we get her out of here, because I only got a few more left on my side. Krystie, would you have any advice to anybody, regardless of what time it is, right? Whether it's right now or 5 months ago or 5 months in the future, who are maybe thinking about starting a business? Like, you've gone out and you've done the club thing, you've done the barista bit work. Now you're in experiential, and in addition to doing barista, barista. I don't know why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to correct myself before somebody else does. And so what would you say to somebody who's thinking, hey, I think I maybe want to start a business?
If they want to start a business in experiential marketing, if they want to do like a promo staffing company like I have, make sure you have capital. Make sure you can afford to pay your BAs before you get paid, because that is the main thing that BAs are looking for right now. That it doesn't matter if you are the best friend of somebody or whatnot. It's like, BA going to be paid, 2 weeks, 30 days, no more. Just make sure you have the capital to pay your staff before you get paid. I still have 2 clients that I haven't been paid for yet. I haven't got paid for for PAX East, and I haven't got paid for another one. But my staff has already been paid. It's like, that's the number one thing. Make sure you have the capital to run a staffing agency where you can pay, at least the first 3 rounds of payments for your staff.
Yeah.
That's number one thing. I see a lot. I've been seeing a lot lately of people who are now opening up quote unquote staffing agencies, but are they licensed? Are they insured? Are they registered? Are they legal? For one thing.
Yeah.
A lot of them are not. A lot of them just created a name and created a Gmail account. Not even a legal, not even like a business account, but a Gmail account. You just really want to do research on these companies. It's like, do they have those 4 things? License, registration, insurance. Just want to make sure they have all of that.
Yeah, I see it all the time, right? In being in all the Facebook groups and whatnot, and I see some of these come through, and I just think to myself, like, who is this person? Like, I've never even seen this name before, or this company. And sometimes they don't even say a company, right? They just present the opportunity, and it's a Gmail address. So that was one of the reasons I may trusted her. I know, at one point, I think in February this year, we had like 40,000 views on our company pages of people searching through reviews. And that's what they're there for. Like, we present it so you can get an accurate picture on legit companies, right? And how long they take to pay, and how they are at communication and all of that. So I'm glad you brought that up, Krystie, because really anybody listening, like, if you see those type of opportunities, do your homework before taking a job with them. Like, as much as they're interviewing you, if you put yourself out there and they call you, interview them. I mean, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, if they're a legit company, if you ask them, hey, what is your business license or whatever, so you can look it up. I mean, you can look all this stuff up online too,
Yeah.
So definitely do that, because you just never know. And some of these companies are actually just taking your information and selling it, so you don't want that either.
You do not want that. Okay, we got a couple questions here. I'm going to jump in. Anybody else who has a question, type it in there fast. I mean, like, Pac-Man question fast. Fire it in the comment section. Okay, Krystie, before I get to the first audience question, I do want to ask you about the Kickstarter that you started, because I think it's amazing. I would hope everyone else thinks it's amazing, because while our industry was the first to really be impacted by COVID-19, I think you saw, as the global supply chain, like, take events out of the picture and all of a sudden convention centers go dark. Take them out of the picture, hotels go dark, restaurants. Like, it was a chain reaction. And while our industry was first, I think pretty quickly people started talking about, what about the airline industry, like all these bailouts and bigger stuff. And so tell me a little bit, like, how that came to be, putting it together. I'd love to hear about some of the people who have that you've awarded the fund to, because that's incredible. The floor is all yours now. Here's the microphone. There you go.
Awesome. Hey, okay, so myself plus 8 other people created a GoFundMe account called the Emergency Gig Economy Coronavirus Income Relief. And we have raised $10,000 of our $50,000 goal. Yeah. We are in day 45 of 100, so we still have 55 more days to go to raise another $40,000, which is great. We have been able to give 21 people so far, and I don't know if Simon Fung is listening, but you are number 22 coming up. You are number 22, Simon Fung. I just haven't sent you the email yet. So we've been able to give 22 people with up to $500 in funds for this relief right here.
That is incredible.
Yes. Myself from KPG Event Staffing, Destiny McKnight from in the cast marketing, Francisco Rosales from Connection Staffing, Drew Batchelor from Bachelor's Model and Talent, my assistant Jonathan, Rakili Washington, Nikki, and Cam and David from Activate Vegas. We're all a part of this.
Yeah.
And so we did have an application form that was open for people to apply for funding. However, we have since closed it because there's more needs than funds. If we can get somebody that can give us a really big donation, we probably will open it back up. But our initial goal was to fund one person a day for 100 days. So 100 people at $550,000. We've had 600 applications come in. So that's why we had to close it for now. Wow. And a lot of people, I mean, our industry hurts. It hurts bad. It hurts really bad. And it's going to be the last thing to come back. I hate to say it, but we'll talk about that another time. We've been able to get almost $10,000 in donations. And for the people in our industry that are hurting, the ones who are donating, I mean, you guys make me cry because we don't have the money, but you all are still donating, which is amazing. And now that, the states are finally have, the PUC, PUA and all that taken care of, some of you are starting to get money so that you can, move, not have to worry too much about your bills and stuff, but it's still, after that money runs out in July, I mean, like if this industry doesn't come back, then we still have to reevaluate some stuff. Yeah. But anyways, with the funds, yeah, it's just been, like I said, amazing. We pushed it on Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook, and it's just been just amazing to see everyone coming together and donating. It's been good.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, I feel weird saying thank you on behalf of a ton of people, but personally, thank you. I think it's amazing what you did and putting it together, and to everyone who's been involved with it. It's just wonderful. So, okay. Let's get to some questions right here. There have been a lot of comments, and so I had to restart my own stream because I watch on my phone where I can see the names, and now when I restarted it, I can't scroll up in the live stream. So I'm going to take a stab at this. There was a question, if I remember it correctly, it came from Marnie out of Chicago, and she said, Krystie, when do you sleep?
Richard told me Richard Lung from Boston. He said that my alien costume was not really an alien costume. So I'm actually an alien. That's why I don't sleep.
Have you always been, I mean, maybe you don't sleep. I know I'm a big nap.
I've had insomnia since I was 14, and I sleep in like 2 or 3 hour spurts, and then I'm good. So I just really don't sleep much ever. And it's just been the insomnia that I had in me. And I have been on prescription medication. It does not work for me. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what I have to do, until I tire myself out.
Yeah.
And it's bad because there are some days where I won't sleep for like 50 hours, and then I'll crash for 12.
Wow. I'm very envious as an entrepreneur and a startup person. Like I need my sleep. I need to nap. I joke with my wife all the time, who is shorter than me and much more smaller than me, and she's the same way. She's like up at a certain time and can stay up super late and doesn't need a lot of sleep. And I go, you know what? Where everyone's just wired a little bit differently. Like my battery was made a little bit smaller, and I got to recharge that a little bit more often. Okay, next question here. So it's related to, I know Trusted Herd makes it easier now for you, but especially before Trusted Herd, how did you manage everything while also working tours and events yourself? Does it come back to the sleeping stuff, or how did you balance that, all that workload?
It was a challenge, and luckily I had a friend who he has a full-time job, so he works from home. Who helped me out? I call him my assistant, but he's actually a really good friend of mine, and he helped me out with making, doing all the check-ins while I was at work, sending out documents for onboarding, making sure everybody's paid. Because while I'm on the showroom floor or I'm out on a field or something, I can't get to that. So with him helping out, that really helped me out a lot. But yeah, my days off, even my days off are not days off. My days off are my days I'm interviewing people on the Google Hangouts. I would interview people. I would go through Trusted Herd. I would go through my emails and stuff. So I never really had a day off, and I would be up sometimes till like 2:00 in the morning going through stuff. And I sometimes interview people until then, until like midnight, because in California, 9 o'clock is 12 o'clock here is 9 o'clock there. So I would interview people until 9 o'clock there. So it just all worked out for me.
It almost works for you to your advantage as a limited sleeper being on the East Coast, because you can get the people on the West Coast at a later time and then get up early and you're hitting the people back on the East Coast. All right, Taya Baldridge, and I quote, she literally posts while she sleeps. I've never seen anything like it.
Stop lying, Taya. Stop lying. She has caught me one time with my cell phone in my hand, and I was kind of laying down and my cell phone in my hand, and it looked like I was sleeping, but I wasn't. Stop lying, Taya.
This is great too. I think this is a nice compliment. B9 model event staffing. Krystie is amazing. She was one of my models a long time ago, and we can always count on her. So
Brenda was actually one of my role models. She's always been, I think I started working with her in like 2012, 2013, and I was just a BA for her as well. And then I moved up to her team lead pretty rapidly. But yeah, she's always been a role model to me. She's one of the reasons why I actually kind of moved forward with doing more staffing.
Nice.
Love her. She's great. She's
also going to be on Trusted Herd Live on this Friday. So awesome. Very, very exciting. What else do we have here? Oh my gosh, there's so much to scroll through. People talking about how great your food pictures look.
I'm probably gonna do a food channel like everyone wants me to, but it's gonna be easy Thai cooking, not the extensive what I usually take like an hour to do. Actually, I take it back. Taya knows I can from start to finish. I can make a meal in like 20 minutes. So.
I don't even want to tell you, my dinner last night, how long it took me to cook. So let's see here. We've talked about your background a little bit. Talked about KPG event staffing. Let's see here. Rich, speaking time zones, do you have any international clients and events with a airplane emoji and 2 earth emojis?
I have 2 clients in Canada, 1 client in the UK.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. But they do US events, and I've only been to the UK once last year, and Canada once last year. I was supposed to do Canada again this year, but that got canceled due to COVID.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We do international stuff.
Very cool. Canada's beautiful. Everyone should go. Vancouver, Quebec City is beautiful for anyone in the New England area. Take a drive up there, especially during the winter. Hotel room gourmet dining. Rosin Davis wrote that. There you go. All right. So yeah, we talked about KPG event staffing. We talked about the relief fund, which I wanted to give you credit for and the spotlight because it was amazing. Is amazing, I should say. Anything else that you'd like to talk about while we got the Trusted Herd live camera rolling?
Guys, like everyone is, I'm reading some of the comments and everyone's worried about, the coronavirus that's going on right now.
Yeah.
Everyone stay positive, but you guys need to prepare for this to not come back until next year. And I hate to say it, but yeah, we're coming back to phases right now, but it's going to be slow. It's going to be very slow. Restaurants that are opening up can open up at 25% capacity only. With that said, if trade show companies, if the trade show convention centers open up, it may be the same way at 25% capacity. So take what you have learned right now, especially all of you who have followed me and follow are a member of my group called Gig Workers Hack, where I provide links to get certifications and stuff. And all of you who took that class, the FAU, commendable. Everyone's taking that class, but yes, take more certifications, take more classes. If there's something that you're really good at, like making a bird feeder or something, like that. Seriously, sell it. Put yourself on Fiverr, put yourself on Gig Salad, anything like that, where you can merchandise yourself, because it's going to be a very slow return. We're the first to go. We're going to be the last to return. And I hate to say it, I love this industry so much, but even including myself, and it's like, I've got to do something while I wait for the industry to come back 100%.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to come back 100% until probably next year, like they're saying, fall of 2021. Because if you look at it, Facebook is only doing online and digital and virtual meetings now. Microsoft is second. If those two big gurus are doing it, a lot more are going to follow the same way. So trying to be positive. I mean, stay positive, because it may come back anytime for like small scale events, like anything less than 10 people, 20 people. But as far as like bigger stuff, guys, just like be prepared. Not till next year, and just start looking toward pivot toward another way of making an income, because it's and it might be something that you might actually want to do once you retire from this industry. I got about 7 more years left, and I'm gonna retire.
Okay. All right, cool. 7 years. It's still a long time. And I know a lot of workers will enjoy working for KPG in that time period. There is one question I wanted to see here. Talks of micro events and macro events. Do you think that micro events, brand ambassador rates would be affected by that?
I hate to say it, but those of you right now that are, and I know everyone needs the money, but those of you right now that are taking these $12 and $14 rates from some of these agencies, it's like you're saying it's okay for these rates to be out there. Yeah. So right now the government is paying everybody to stay home. So stay home. Because once you start working and getting those $12 rates for our industry, then you are letting them tell you that it's okay, that you will take this in the future again. So no, I don't think it's okay. I will fight for the higher rates as long as I can, and I'm going to continue to fight for it. And I'm not going to take a client that doesn't pay less. So it's just going to be on an industry by agency basis. Every agency is going to have their own thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do think some of the micro events, though, I mean, typical clients who have been doing this for so long, and brands and agencies, like, I don't think those events are going to get impacted. That pay rate, it's going to be more or less. Previously, we hired 20. Now we're hiring 2 people, right? So let's see here. By the way, everybody who's watching, and we've had an incredible crowd this whole episode. Karen, hello. Thanks for joining. Been here with Krystie Phannareth. Happy Cinco de Mayo. How about that? There we go.
Cinco say something, but I'm not saying it, so.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, everybody. And it falls on a Taco Tuesday today. So if you haven't eaten dinner yet, give it some considerations. Go get yourself some tacos. Krystie, thank you so much for coming on and being an amazing supporter of Trusted Herd. Like, genuinely mean that. And just everything that you do for a lot of people in our industry.
Thanks for having me. This was fun. I liked it.
Yeah. Krystie's very good. I mean, I feel like I need to have a co-host and invite her on and just be like, what was it? The Today Show that for a while had like people that just kind of circulated through. Krystie, you would definitely be one of the people. So everybody, thank you. Happy Cinco de Quarantino. That just made me laugh. Thank you. Very good. Cool. So today, again, Tuesday, this has been episode 24 of Trusted Herd Live. Tomorrow, we have Steve with ProMotion. They've been in the business 25 years. Thursday, we got Martin with Staffed Inc. I love Martin. He's a great guy up in New York. And then Brenda, of course, on Friday with B9 Models. And it'll be nice to have her. So again, everybody, and Krystie, my co-host right over here, thank you so much again for joining. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, 3:30 p.m. And have some fun tonight. Tacos and beverages. See y'all later.
Bye.